Most of them gon' talk, I know. Most of them gon' fall, I know. We gon' bet it all, I know. We gon' bet it all, I know.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the A&J Soccer Show. As always, it's me, Andrew Pipers, and to my right,
Jalen Thompson.
We're back after a little week hiatus. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we're happy to be back with you guys. But we have a super short episode for you guys today, but it should be a good one. Going to talk about Man City winning the Carabao Cup, Guardiola's first title as Man City manager, and then we're going to look at some of our predictions that we did for the Champions League, and we're going to predict for the second legs. But before we get into the Champions League, your thoughts on this first title for Guardiola?
The boys did it. The boys came through, got the first title.
Yeah.
I think it's huge for the momentum going into the Champions League, the momentum to get more trophies. Sadly, the FA Cup is off the table for us now. But moving on from that, I thought it was a very fun game to watch as a City fan. The stream I was watching, I was on ESPN.
Yeah.
The commentators were fairly biased. I was watching it with Ned, who's obviously an Arsenal fan. You guys might know him from one of the past episodes. But we were laughing just the whole time about how critical the commentators were being about Arsenal.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a good game to watch as a City fan, obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the score ended up being 3-0, a pretty comfortable win for City. That first goal was from Aguero though, and it was a sweet finish. Just dinks it over. I think it was Ospina.
That was cute.
But it came from a goal kick all the way down. Sorry we don't have the screen for you guys today. We want to start showing these to you, but we should have that next week. But anyway, Bravo kicks the ball down the field. And then there's a little nudge between Aguero and Mustafi.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't happy with that. I actually saw Jack Wilshere came out with the Instagram post earlier, I think it was today, addressing it. I think the commentator said it pretty well. As an Arsenal fan, you're going to say it's a foul. As a City fan, you're going to say there wasn't much there. And I think that's pretty much true. There was a slight you could see as the ball is coming from the goal kick, Aguero and Mustafi are going to go up for the header, and Aguero looks at Mustafi really quickly and then just kind of stands his ground, honestly. You could say it's a nudge, but he kind of stands his ground. Mustafi complains, doesn't chase after Aguero. He goes and scores the breakaway. So in my opinion, I would say it's not a foul. I would say Mustafi was wrong not to chase Aguero after.
Yeah, exactly.
He was just complaining.
Play to the whistle.
There was no one behind him. I don't get why he wouldn't play anyway. But I would. And they have VAR, so they obviously reviewed it afterwards, and they decided that it wasn't anything to overturn. So it was a pretty big moment in the match, but it's a goal in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And the finish was just sweet. I wish we could show it, but it was just like a perfect dink over Ospina. Just a quick note on Jack Wilshere. I remember before that game, I think it was Roy Keane, the Manchester United legendary midfielder. He said Wilshere is the most overrated player he's ever seen in his life.
Really?
So it's a little something for Jack Wilshere. I honestly think he's I don't really like him as a player, but I won't trash him too much. But the second goal came in the second half from Company, which was really good to see.
Yeah,
see our captain back on the score sheet, and he's such an awesome leader for the club. I think after he's done playing, he's going to have a role in the club, bringing up some of the younger guys maybe. But just how much does Company mean to the City team? I know he's injured a lot, but his mentality.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell even when he's injured, he's still posting on social media, which is only as the fans, that's only what we see, but I'm sure he's doing tons of stuff behind the scenes, making sure that the team has the right mindset, making sure that the team's all together. You can tell the way that he carries himself. He's very passionate about the way he plays. He's a general in the back. You can, by the way he talks, by the way he demands stuff of the other players. But yeah, if there's anyone, like the commentator said in the game, if there's anyone that deserved that goal, it was Vincent Kompany, because he's had a really, really rough time with injuries. Can't stay fit. But that brings a huge point up, is that this is one of the few times probably one of the first times where we are having trouble deciding on who to play at the center back position, because in past, you got John Stones, Mangala, but now we have Vincent Kompany, Nicholas Otamendi,
right,
Laporte, and John Stones.
Yeah, your favorite
guy. So it's going to be interesting to see who Pep decides. I definitely think he'll do it based by competition. I think he'll be able to give people rest now, but that's really awesome to have that type of problem for us.
Oh, totally. I totally agree. It's finally nice to to be able to look at some of our defenders and be more confident in them than before, because we know our attack and midfield are just fantastic. But having those defenders there are really, really quite important. And also having Ederson in goal. Like, Bravo made a couple of mistakes. He made a really good save, but I feel like in the Champions League, Bravo would just make too many mistakes. So having Ederson in the sticks is really big.
Yeah, it's definitely a confidence issue for sure. Just seeing him and Ospina, it was very interesting to see both of them in goal, because I don't think either side was fairly confident in their goalkeepers. But you were talking about how we have a lot of attacking mids, but the problem is we don't have a defensive mid replacement for Fernandinho, who got injured in that game, which is going to be pretty huge because City are playing Arsenal again on Thursday for the league. A league game, and Chelsea is also coming up in
on Saturday or Sunday.
Basel, but we kind of have that unlocked. But it's pretty worrying because Fernandinho's immediate replacement is Yaya Toure, and Yaya
uncle.
I mean, he's a good player, but he's getting older. He's not as mobile as Fernandinho. So when you're playing a high quality team that can move the ball quickly, it's not the most ideal person to have back there. So it's gonna be an issue.
That's a really good point, because Fernandinho allows our attacking players to do what they do. But hopefully he can get fit for the rest of the games. But I guess just transitioning into the third goal, it was scored by David Silva. And nice little, I think Chambers, the Arsenal defender, Callum Chambers, was defending him. And that guy, he's just really bad. I'm sorry for Arsenal fans. Like, you guys bought him from Southampton when he was like really good, and he's just not good. He got turned by David Silva, and that's like not something that.
Yeah, it didn't seem very strong. It seemed like as a center back he should have been able to command. But I mean, credit to Silva. One thing to notice is the three players that scored were all of City's original.
Yes, I know.
When I say original, like 2011, like when they were first transitioning into the new City. Yeah. Those were three players: Aguero, Company, and David Silva. Those are three of the originals. So it's really cool to see the impact that they still have, that they're still at the club and doing big things.
When I saw those names on the score sheet, it just brought me back to like the 2012 winning season, and like just kind of like the old days, if you will, which is hard to believe they're old days for me. Just a little personal aside, because like it seems like that's so recent, but now it's like those are like the old, like like when we had like Gareth Barry and all that, you know what I'm talking about? Like those are
Barry, Adam Johnson, all the OGs. But I mean, overall, like I said, I thought it was a very entertaining game to watch. City definitely showed their dominance over Arsenal. Aubameyang was fairly quiet, except for a couple through balls over the top.
Should have scored actually though. In the first, you remember that first little.
But I think after they reviewed it, because he was offside. I think with VAR they would have reviewed it and disallowed the goal. Gotcha. But I mean, Bravo made a good save on that play.
And I think just so that was a good win for Guardiola, the first one of his Man City career. Hopefully there's many more. Pretty sure we've got the Premier League, but moving into the Champions League, which is a really big one that we'd like to win. What we're going to do, we're going to run through the predictions that we made last time, if we remember all of them, and then we're also going to sort of recap those games and then predict the second leg coming up in the first couple weeks of March. So the first one, Basel versus Man City. Man City goes to Basel, wins comfortably 4-0. I think this tie is over. I think the second leg be like 2 or 3-0 or something to City.
Pretty irrelevant.
Yeah.
I see him playing the youngsters, honestly.
Got Foden and Diaz out there.
Getting some time for them.
Yeah. So we both think City's going to go through on that one. Yeah.
Of course.
All right. The second one, Juventus-Spurs was actually a fantastic game to watch. Juventus was up 2-0 within the first 9 minutes. Yeah. Higuain scored an absolutely brilliant, don't really know how to describe it, but
a side volley.
Side volley, yeah. And it looked like Juve were going to dominate the game, but Spurs kind of stuck in there, and they outplayed Juve and wound up drawing 2-2 with a nice free kick from Eriksen. For this one, I predicted Juventus was going to go through, and I think I predicted they would win the first leg, but after seeing that strong Spurs performance, I have less confidence in Juventus. So I think the second leg at Wembley, I'm not going to sit on the fence as much as I want to, but I'm torn on this one. I'm going to stick with my gut and stick with Juventus. I was about to say Spurs, but I think Juventus can do it.
I think you go to Wembley. I think Harry Kane and company, I think they're going to hold it down. I think it's going to be a tight one. I like 1-0 finisher, but I think Tottenham goes through, in my opinion.
Yeah, no.
But the next one is a huge game, also very exciting to watch. It was
Right.
Real Madrid, PSG.
Yeah.
Real Madrid won 3-1. A bit of a unjust scoreline in my opinion. I watched the game and I definitely thought that PSG dominated in the first half, and I think Real Madrid got lucky on some of their goals, and I think Neymar did play very well. I thought he was almost too unselfish at times, which I think is weird because I feel like Neymar has the right to be selfish with all the privileges that he's getting at PSG. But I think it's going to be hard for PSG to come back. I mean, despite having the first game at Real Madrid, I think even though they're at home, and Neymar actually just got injured.
He got hurt
this weekend.
I don't know if he'll be back, but
I doubt it.
Even a PSG with Neymar would have a hard time overturning that deficit against Real Madrid. Sorry, I cut you off.
No. I mean, I think it's definitely possible. I think it's something that could happen, but against the Real Madrid side like that, I don't see it happening. I think Real Madrid's gonna go through.
I remember I was saying a couple weeks ago, there's something about Real Madrid in the Champions League that is like almost untouchable, like immortal. Like you can't get close to them. Like PSG played them really well, but that scoreline 3-1, it was like a goal by Ronaldo and a goal by someone else in the last. I think it was Marcelo in the last like 10 minutes, and it's just PSG played probably the game of their season, and they still came up short. I don't think PSG can get through, which is really bad from the owner's standpoint because he's invested all this money in doing well in the Champions League, and then he gets there and goes out in the round of 16, and like I don't know if he's ever gotten past the quarterfinals. So if you're a PSG fan, it'll be tough. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world if they did it, especially if Neymar's playing because he's one of the top 3 players in the world. He can turn around anything, but when you've got Ronaldo on the other side, I think you just can't really do anything about that. So I say Real Madrid goes through. The next game we're going to talk about, I don't want to talk about, is Porto and Liverpool. First of all,
what was your prediction on that?
To all the Liverpool fans out there, my bad. Got that one dead wrong. Y'all thrashed Porto away from home 5-0. I said Porto was going to surprise y'all and win. Not really much else for me to say about this game. Liverpool goes through. One of my worst predictions ever, but these things happen.
Yeah, luckily I got that one right.
You got it a little bit more right than I did.
We would have both been pretty embarrassed. But, I obviously, 5-0, that's game over right there. And
Away
then they're
goals,
going to Anfield. Come on.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next one, Bayern Besiktas. Bayern beats Besiktas 5-0. That's another pretty brutal defeat, and that was I think they were at home, and they will go to Besiktas to play again. But it's Bayern Munich.
They're not putting 6 past Bayern or whatever they have to do.
I don't see it happening. So
Bayern goes through. I think we both say. This next one, Chelsea-Barcelona. I thought Barcelona was going to go into Stamford Bridge and absolutely just smack Chelsea. I thought it was going to be over in the first leg. Turned out Chelsea played pretty well. It was 1-1. Messi had to save the day with a nice Iniesta. It was actually off a mistake by...
it might have been Marcus Alonso.
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhere from the left side of the field. Yeah. Sloppy pass across the field.
The commentator said you're taught when you're young you never pass across your own box.
Especially square. It was a very square pass. It's something you really don't want to do, especially against Barcelona. and they made him pay. Iniesta just squared it for Messi, and that was it right there. But Chelsea dominated the first half.
They did.
I didn't think that Barcelona, just by having a lot of possession, had many chances. Willian hit the post twice before converting and scoring his third time to make it 1-0, and then Messi responded with the equalizer. But Chelsea definitely, I think, surprised some people.
Yeah.
With the way that they played, but I would have to go with Barcelona in the second leg at Camp Nou.
Yeah, I tend to have to agree with you. I mean, it's advantage Barcelona right now based on away goals, even though it was a pretty fair contest. I just can't see Chelsea going to Barcelona and doing anything to them. But, I've seen crazier things happen, but I'm going to have to stick with Barcelona on this one. And then the next game was Shakhtar Donetsk from Ukraine versus Roma. I remember I was saying that Shakhtar is a very Brazilian-heavy team, and they're very skillful, and a lot of people underestimate them. and Roma did underestimate them, it looks like. This game was in Ukraine, so I guess the away goal helps Roma, but I don't think that'll be enough. I think even going back to Rome, I think Shakhtar's going to hold on. I think they're that strong. I think they're strong enough to hold on, yeah.
I think the opposite. I think Roma will turn up in the second leg, and I think they'll be able to take Shakhtar. I don't see Shakhtar's defense as the strongest thing, so I think it won't be an impossible task to put a couple past them. So I'm actually going to say Roma goes through on this one in the second leg.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Then finally, the last game that we had was Sevilla, Man United, and 0-0 draw. So the first leg was at Sevilla. So actually, I guess if Sevilla goes, United would have to win 2-1, because of the away goals thing. Anyway, I don't really know what to say about this one. I don't know if Jose is going to park the bus at home in a Champions League game against Sevilla. I think that'd be pretty stupid, but I'm just going to... I think I see United winning this one. I don't think Sevilla is strong enough away from home to go to Old Trafford and do something significant. So I'm going to have to say United takes this one in a couple weeks.
I mean, I remember watching a good bit of that game. I just didn't see United do anything. I thought Sevilla was very exciting in the way that they were playing them. They were definitely taking it to them. Lukaku just wasn't doing anything. I felt like Man U didn't have the spark that they needed. Pogba came off the bench in that game. It was weird, but I'm actually going to go Sevilla. I think they're going to be able to grab, I say one. I think with the lack, even though Man U beat Chelsea this past weekend in the Premier League, that's a good momentum, but I think that Sevilla will be able to stay strong defensively. And honestly, I mean, I don't know if you saw the save that De Gea had on Muriel's header, but it was unreal. And I think De Gea has come in countless times and saved Man U's, but I think that Sevilla will have this one. I think they'll shock Man U, and I think it'll be pretty disappointing for all the Man U fans out there to see their team go out early like that.
Yeah, that's true. And just a quick note I want to make about United that I've sort of noticed, and Paul Pogba, £190 million player. It seems like he's really good at social media and not too good at playing soccer right now. I know I don't know. I just feel like maybe because of the price tag, I'm not looking as much at what he's actually doing, and I'm just hoping he'll live up to that. But I think that's just an interesting player to look at as you go forward, because he did so well in the Italian league when he was free to do what he wanted, and he had Pirlo behind him to kind of sure things up at Juventus. And now at United, I just feel like he's kind of lacking a bit. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or no. Not really.
I'm a fan of him as a player, honestly. But I do agree. I think that he was definitely a bit more flashy, a bit more in the news. When he was at Juve, I feel like he was always doing some type of skill or scoring some type of ridiculous goal every other week. And since he's been here, I don't know, it's the system that Mourinho has him in, or he's just seen that the Premier League is a bit more difficult. Yeah. But he's definitely not had as big of an impact recently than people would expect him to. Yeah. Because of the price tag. I think you make a good point. When you have a price tag like that on your head, people are going to have these expectations for you that might not be realistic for you to meet, but that's the way that the price tags are going these days. So I don't think what you said is necessarily unfair, but at the same time, I think that we got to realize we do have some pretty huge expectations for him because of the player he is.
Cool. Well, let us know what you think about Pogba. Let us know what you think about the Champions League, anything. We love your feedback as always. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the A&J Soccer Show. And thank you for the continued support.
Yeah, as always, guys, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
I really want to know.